it that the harder you try to focus, the faster your brain seems to shut down? Most people think productivity is a test of willpower, but it's actually a matter of biological timing and you're likely doing it wrong. We've all been there. You have a massive project due. You sit down for a marathon session, and 2 hours later, you've somehow ended up deep in a Wikipedia rabbit hole about the history of salt. In this video, we're going to deconstruct a 40-year-old technique that turns time from a greedy player that wins every round into your most valuable ally. In the late 1980s, an Italian university student named Francesco Cirillo was drowning in exam prep. He felt constant confusion and low productivity, realizing that distractions were the root of his failure. Humiliated by his lack of focus, he made a simple bet with himself. Can I really study for just 10 minutes? To keep himself honest, he used a kitchen timer shaped like a Pomodoro, the Italian word for tomato. He didn't win that bet immediately, but through trial and error, he discovered that the key wasn't working longer. It was working in intense, finite sprints. In that moment, the classic Pomodoro was eventually born. 25 minutes of work, followed by a 5-minute break. To get this right, you have to follow the 4 fundamental rules. 1. The Pomodoro is indivisible. There is no such thing as half a Pomodoro. If the timer starts, it must ring. If you finish a task early, use the remaining time for overlearning, reviewing your work, or making small improvements. 2. Protect the Pomodoro. Once that timer starts ticking, you are in a focus bubble. If a coworker interrupts, or you get a sudden urge to check your phone, you must apply the inform, negotiate, and call back strategy. 3. Respect the break. When the timer dings, you must stop immediately. Your mind needs these 5 minutes to disconnect and assimilate what it just learned. 4. The set rule. After every 4 Pomodoros, you earn a long break of 15 to 30 minutes. This is the fuel your brain needs to avoid the mid-afternoon crash. Why does this simple 25-minute block work so much better than a 3-hour grind? Science points to 3 major psychological tricks. First, combating Parkinson's law. This law states that work expands to fill the time available for its completion. If you give yourself all day, your brain procrastinates. The ticking timer creates artificial urgency, forcing your brain to prioritize. Second, the Zeigarnik effect. Our brains are wired to remember unfinished tasks more than completed ones, which creates mental tension. By checking off a Pomodoro with an X, you release that tension and create a satisfying dopamine reward loop. Third, managing cognitive load. Large projects look like threats to the amygdala, your brain's fear center. Breaking a task into a 25-minute commitment lowers the barrier to entry, bypassing your biological resistance to getting started. Now, for the professionals watching, the 25/5 split isn't a law of physics, it's a setting. If you are a programmer, writer, or designer, 25 minutes might be too short to enter the zone or flow state. In these cases, experts suggest the 50/10ths variation. Longer blocks give you the 15 to 20 minutes needed to load the mental model of complex code or creative work into your working memory. Conversely, if you have ADHD or are facing a task you absolutely hate, try the reverse Pomodoro. Set a timer for just 5 minutes. Almost universally, starting for 5 minutes leads to continued work because the hardest part of productivity for neurodivergent brains is simply task initiation. The pro version of this technique involves tracking and recording. At the end of each day, look at your record sheet. If a task you estimated would take 3 Pomodoros actually took 7, don't beat yourself up. This is data. You've just identified a quantitative estimation error. Over time, this feedback loop trains your brain to understand exactly how much effort you are capable of, allowing you to plan a sustainable day without the guilt of unfinished to-do lists. Here is the core insight. Elite performance isn't about grinding harder. It's about protecting your energy in small, intense windows. Time is not your enemy. It's the container for your potential. If you found these practical hacks useful, we dive deep into the science of success every week. Hit the subscribe button to join our community of high performers, and tell me in the comments, what is the one task you're going to tackle in your first Pomodoro today? Set your timer. Let's get to work.